One thing I encounter quite often is people with iPhones that have charging issues with them. This is very much a everyday occurrence in my shop, but it's not always necessarily the battery, which I'll explain a bit further throughout this small video. Point number 1 of 5 is your charging source. Are you using a car charger that you found from a $2 shop? Are you using a big bulky charger similar to here in the video? Or are you using an old Nokia USB charger from 15 years ago you found in a drawer? Of course, with the various chargers out there, the original would almost be the best one to go for. If you've got it and it's in good condition, definitely use it. But also there are various other aftermarket chargers out there, like the Orico brand, which I use personally myself. But definitely take note of your charger source. If you're using solar panels to charge them and it's coming directly from the panel, it very well may be damaging your device. And same with in-car chargers that aren't really regulated. Next topic is something very simple, very commonly broken: the cables themselves. Very cheap ones you can get from $2 off eBay, AliExpress, a cheapo shop. All of these would potentially be unregulated or unregulated power going into the device, which will definitely produce harm to it. Usually you'd want to find one that's got MFI. The MFI certification, they have to pay Apple a royalty of around $4 or so. So usually you see the MFI cables go for anywhere from about $10 onwards. Now coming up next, this here is a dilemma that I see quite often, and doing this normally resolves about probably 60% of charging issues I see, which is just simply a dirty charger port. Now cleaning it with a pair of tweezers, you do see a fair bit of dust come out of here. But if you're finding you've got to push on a silly angle to plug your lightning cable in to get it to charge, or push it in with excessive force or twist it, it's highly likely that you've just got dirt and dust compressed inside of the charger port. And now on to number 4, which is usually a lot harder. On the actual main board of the iPhone is a chip known as the TriStar or the U2 chip. To be very brief on its purpose, is it helps with the charging of the phone and the controlling of that, but typically when they fail it produces numerous results. Included are basically where the phone will charge only when it's turned off, or will only charge when it's turned on. It might give it false chargings where basically the percentage never goes up but it says it's accepting charge. So the iPhone mightn't be detected by a computer when connected up to it. Now finally, on to number 5. We have the final thing in the chain, the battery itself. Now typically with these, if you've been using good chargers for the life of the phone and MFI certified cables, typically your battery will wear out after 2.5–3 years. You might get a day of charge out of it. From there you may consider replacing, but typically if you've only had the phone for less than 12 months, it shouldn't really be the battery. I believe there'll be other issues at fault: poor quality USB cables, generic or cheap wall chargers, or just using unregulated power, so essentially an in-car USB to charge your iPhone or a solar panel, things to those effect. So in summary, as the title of this video, it's not always necessarily the battery. Catch you later.